Welcome to Blessed and Boys, a podcast that goes all the way up to 11, a podcast that will have what she's having, a podcast that can't handle the truth. We're a couple of meatheads, one that's a Saints fan, one that's a Cowboys fan, one fan of Who Dat, and one fan of Dat Win. We're here to give weekly takes, game recaps, bad betting picks, game previews, and the occasional Seinfeld reference.
This week, our patron Saint/Cowboy is wide receiver Margene Atkins, who attended Kirkpatrick High School, where he played basketball until his junior year, and then he began playing football. Played college football at Henderson County Junior College in Brandon's neck of the woods, Athens, Texas, where he participated in the Junior Rose Bowl twice. Had a brief stay at Wichita University before dropping out of school. While he was still a teenager, he joined the Ottawa Rough Riders of the Canadian Football League as a wide receiver. 1969, he was voted to the CFL All-Star team after setting a regular season record with the highest average gain per pass reception at 25 yards, a record that stood for 28 years, broken by Milt Stegall. Atkins was part of both Ottawa's Grey Cup winning teams in 1968 and 1969, catching an important 70-yard touchdown pass in the 68 game when the Rough Riders defeated the Calgary Stampeders 24-21. Because he signed his original contract as a 19-year-old minor, he played out his option. Played 3 years, registered 47, 32, and 56 receptions, respectively, averaging 10 touchdowns a season. 1970 NFL draft, he is selected by the Dallas Cowboys, second round, 49th overall. Having star receivers such as Lance Allworth and Bob Hayes, the team used Atkins primarily as a punt and kick returner during his 2 seasons when injuries didn't limit him. In 1970, he was placed on IR after playing 5 games. 71, he played in 3 games because of injuries, was placed on the team's taxi squad. Although he wasn't on the active roster when the Cowboys won Super Bowl VI, he still received a ring and a full share of the playoff bonuses. 1972, he asked the Cowboys to trade him, so he got sent to New Orleans in exchange for a second-round draft choice, which turned into John Babinski. Apologies, John. Can't pronounce your last name. Babinski? There, that'll work. 72, he was acquired after he impressed the Saints during a 71 preseason game in which he had 3 receptions for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a hell of a preseason stat line. He would lead the NFL in both kickoff returns with 1,020 yards and a 23.7 average, even though he played through an ankle injury. And June 5th, 1973, he is traded to the New York Jets along with punter Julian Fagan and an 8th-round draft choice, number 192, Larry Lightfoot, in exchange for quarterback Bob Davis, punter Steve O'Neill, and a 4th-round choice, number 83, Clint Hasselrig.
We got some names on this one.
You got some names. Injuries would also hamper Atkins' 1973 season with the Jets. He started 5 games, posting 6 receptions for 109 yards. Injured his knee during the 74 offseason, placed on IR, eventually released before the start of the 75 season. 1975, he joins the Chicago Winds of the World Football League, catching 12 passes for 130 yards and 1 touchdown. The Winds would fold before the season ended, finishing 1-4. Atkins was selected by the San Antonio Wings in the Chicago Winds dispersal draft, but he didn't play for the team.
You know,
I heard about football.
I heard about that Chicago Winds team. That team really blew. Thanks, folks.
After finishing his football career, Atkins would. Yeah, that's it for me. After finishing his football career, Atkins would work as a firefighter for Lockheed Martin in his hometown of Fort Worth, Texas. I am Paul, the Saints fan.
I'm Brandon, the Cowboys fan.
We're your hosts. Izzy, tell them what time it is.
Yeah, that's it. It's go time. Let's see you lift that.
Mr. Mandelbaum, please.
It's go time.
This one's for you, Pop. It's go time.
It's go time.
You've been married 3 times.
That's it! It's go time!
It's go time.
All right. Few housekeeping items to get to, and then we'll get into all the good stuff here. So if you want to contact the show, we did put out a call last week. If you will remember, next week on Tuesday, the 23rd, it is a Festivus for the rest of us. So we are taking your airing of grievances. Please note that next week it will be just me. Brandon will be out of town, so it will be a solo show. We do have a special, surprise lined up. If you are wanting to partake with us, I will be watching the season 9 episode, The Strike, aka the Festivus episode.
No bagel, no bagel, no bagel, no bagel, no bagel.
Please join us. I'll post. We'll try to post the time. I'm thinking it'll be around the same time. It'll be on Tuesday, hopefully. And we'll watch the episode. If you have some grievances to air, please send those in. I'll share those with everybody, and then I'll just give Brandon and I's picks for week 17. We will not have a recap next week. We will do a full recap of 16 and 17 2 weeks from now, in preparation for the final week of the NFL season. So, where do you send those grievances to? Bless them, boys. Go ahead.
I'm gonna send you my grievances too, so you can read them on the show. I'm pretty sure you can figure out where that's going.
I've got a couple ideas. But where you can send those grievances to is blessthemboys@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter at bless_dem_boys. I'm at Paul Elliott _316. Brandon is at Ball from Grace. Don't put the grievances on Blue Sky because we probably won't see them, but we are on Blue Sky.
In spirit.
And in spirit. And if you're watching along with us right now, live on YouTube, first of all, thank you. Nice, happy that you're here. While you're here, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button. Leave us a rating and review, or leave us some feedback. You can also do so on Spotify and Apple. Like, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. Appreciate all the feedback. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the bots.
We love the bots.
All right, we will get into the football of both, a little bit of college, mostly pro. We'll do that here in a minute. But first, we here at Bless Them Boys do pride ourselves on being able to discuss other things.
But enough about fish. I can discuss other things, you know.
All right, Brandon, what did you get up to this week?
All right, so I got a couple to start. We'll lead off with a couple of new music recommendations. So I found this one album. I think I actually listened to it earlier in the year, but I just came back to it. Super Pedestrian by Annie DeRusso, just indie rock. I wanted to point out that there is a track. I don't know if it's a song really, but there's a track that contains a lot of like clips of Yankees fans talking about Derek Jeter. The track is called Derek Jeter. It's kind of just a random. I don't even know. I don't understand why it's just kind of a random thing.
That's former Seinfeld star Derek.
That's
Jeter.
right. They won the World Series.
He was
in 6 games.
Yes, six games. Yeah.
And the other one actually came out this Friday called Holo Boy by This Is Lorelei. Another just kind of like pretty laid back indie vibes album. Short, it's 10 songs, 26 minutes, 90 pages. So you're in, you're out, you know. You don't even have to wait to watch the movie with some father and daughter on their couch. I'm through episode 5 of season 2 of The White Lotus, Paul. And I hate everybody. they try to. So not a lot of redeeming in these people.
I hadn't read that. I hadn't read that part of the notes, and I was taking a sip of my coffee and I almost spit it up when I saw it. They're not great. They're not great people. For
So
sure.
we got to the point where it was
But
the Aubrey Plaza finds the condom in the their hotel room or whatever for
okay.
because what's his name had the hookers in the other room because they're in a like suite or whatever. So that happened, and then they got really drunk at a bunch of wineries, and then the girls are talking, and she's like, I think something happened, and then the other girl is like, well, I have this trainer and he's really cute, da 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 da, and she's like, here's a picture of him, and she's like, I play it. She's like, I spend more time with him sometimes than Cameron because he's at work all the time. And then she's like, oh, here's a picture of him. And then she's like, that's just a picture of your kids. And you like see the like, she's like, oh yeah, sorry. And then you see the like dawning realization of like, oh, that's yeah. We got like a Tom Brady Giselle situation there. And then I think the White Lotus is about there are two themes. It's one, everybody sucks, and the other thing is, can you figure out which character is secretly gay? because that seems to pop up. That seems to be another, like, there was the
trope.
I guess there was the hotel reception, not the receptionist lady, but the lady who runs the hotel, who oversees it. Because she had that, like, the situation with the girl who wants to sing and play the music or whatever, and then the other thing was they got I think the last episode that I watched, there was the reveal at the very end where that one girl who's Portia, who's the assistant to Jennifer Coolidge's character, she's been hanging out with the British guy with the rich, like, uncle or whatever, and his gay friends, and then, like, at the very end she, like, hears noises and then goes in to see that scene. So that's where I ended. So that's where I ended the that. I've got 2 episodes left. I will say I do like season 2 more than I like season 1. I think the storylines are a little more compelling. The first one was just like a lot of just the guy who was like booked the pineapple suite, and that was like the whole situation. Like, that was a little bit much. Like, that got to be like a little repetitive. So I think I do like this season better than season 1. I'll say that. Then the other thing was I have college basketball updates. So I did start off the week last week pretty rough. So I went 5 on December 9th. I went 5-7. Then I went 7-9, 1-2, and 0-3 on those days. But since then, in the last 4 days, I've come roaring back. I went 16-9, 5-2, 2-1, and yesterday 11-5. So for the year, I'm currently 218 and 156 right now. And then I had a story because I had a bet on Florida on Sunday. I had a bet on Dunk City, Florida Gulf Coast University. You remember them from many moons ago at the tournament.
Absolutely.
So I had them plus 17.5 against. I had this pulled up earlier. So I had Florida Gulf Coast against New Mexico, the Lobos. And so they had kept it pretty, like, 12-15 pretty much the entire game. And then with 2 minutes left, New Mexico goes on this run to go up like 75 or 74 to 50. And I'm like, okay, that's it. That's lost. I'm over.
Yeah.
So I close the ESPN app where I'm tracking the score. And I'm like, forget it. I go back and look later. Well, New Mexico basically just like took the air out of the ball. and Florida Gulf Coast was able to get back in it, so they ended up losing by 16 to cover the 17 and a half. So big shout out to Dunk City and the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles.
So you had the bad beat in reverse.
Exactly. Because it can't be a good beat. It's a good, I don't know, what's the opposite of a bad beat?
You would be on the, when Scott Van Pelt does bad beats on SportsCenter, you're on the opposite end of that coin. You're I don't know. I don't know how to.
Yeah, we gotta. There's got to be a term for what the opposite of. Let me ask Google. What is the opposite?
It's a win, right?
Right.
It's a win. Okay. So what's a W adjective that we can?
Well, it said the Google AI says the opposite of a bad beat is generally referred to as a suck out, which I don't know if I'm comfortable using that term.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like that's like calling what you do on Blue Sky skeeting. Like it's
yeah, exactly. Let me get on Blue Sky and skeet about my suck out. Buddy, there's gonna
no sir.
That's gonna
no, sir.
Sir,
Absolutely
this is a
not.
family show. They say also an upswing or stroke of good luck. Upswing's a little better.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take
yeah.
that.
Well, that'll be the placeholder for now because we know what we're not going with. Oh,
right.
All right. That's about it. That's about it for me, Paul. What do you got going on?
How about wonderful win instead of bad beat?
Bad beat, wonderful win.
Oh. So actually, this wasn't really a bad beat, but I put a little money down on the under in Texas Tech, Northern Colorado college basketball. And it was way off. The number was like the number was like 150. It was like 151. And the final score was like 100-90 or something like that.
I've still like I'm gonna have to like do some research in the off season because I'm good on like sides, but like I have not been able to get my numbers to come out with like good totals yet. Like that's been a struggle. So I stay away from them.
Yeah. So for me, you alluded to this in our intro, but obviously we got the tragic news on Sunday evening about Rob Reiner and his wife. Obviously, our heartfelt condolences to his family in this very, very troubling time. I don't want to go into the whole thing. The easy Google search can get you the information you need. What was odd about it was, so Sunday night, I had your Cowboys on the TV, but then I thought, I just feel like watching something light, just, have something like second screening it, So I put on Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap, just watching that, and got about halfway through the movie, and I start getting news alerts or saying, about what happened to Rob, to Mr. Reiner and his wife, and so just a very surreal thing,
Can I raise a practical question? Are we going to do Stonehenge?
I forgot how funny the movie was.
That movie's great.
It had been
they just came out.
It had been a while.
Is Spinal Tap 2 out or is it coming out?
Yeah, it's on. So it's on HBO Max. They're both on HBO Max right now. The second one had been out on HBO Max for a while, and like I said, Sunday night I was just kind of looking around and saw that the first one was on HBO Max, and so I'm like, okay, let me revisit this. And yeah, just a wonderful. That was actually his first directed film, was Spinal Tap, or This Is Spinal Tap. And then I watched his second movie is a movie called The Sure Thing, which is hard to find streaming. I had to do some Google searching I'll
It
just
wasn't a sure
put it
thing
at that.
to find it.
It was not a sure thing to find. This is 1985. It stars John Cusack, a very young John Cusack, and he plays he's in college. He's at a college in Maine. His best buddy from high school is played by Anthony Edwards, who you might remember from ER from years ago.
Not the basketball player.
Not the basketball player. Not
Okay.
the basketball player. No. I don't think he was born. I don't think that Anthony Edwards was born in 1985.
A very young Anthony Edwards.
Very young. But anyway, so he's in school in Maine. His buddy is in school in California, and his buddy's trying to get him to come to California because he knows a girl in California that will for sure hook up with John Cusack. He calls it the sure thing. That's where the title comes from. Well, in order to get to California, he hitches a ride with this couple. So it's basically like there's this thing where you can put up notes on the bulletin board like, "Hey, driving, going home for Christmas, want to split gas, whatever." So he does that, and he ends up sharing a ride with this kind of straight-laced, straight A student, very uptight girl who's actually played by. Have you seen Spaceballs?
It's been a while.
Okay, so the girl who plays the princess in Spaceballs is that actress.
Gotcha.
So they have to basically, and she's going to California because her boyfriend is out there, and as you could on this road trip, they develop feelings for each other and things go from there. It's very good. Very typical 80s like romantic comedy type deal. I can tell why it's probably not streaming somewhere. A lot of places is because there's a lot of music, like pop music, like Eagle. There's an Eagle song, like Eagle song is played, and the Eagles are very
picky.
What's the word? Very well, they just don't let their stuff get streamed. Like I've watched music. I watch a lot of music reaction videos on YouTube, and like none of them will do the Eagles because if you do the Eagles, you'll immediately get popped. Like you won't even don't even try. So anyway,
what if I start singing "Take It Easy"?
I mean that they might be okay, but if we played like 2 seconds of it, they probably they cut us.
Desperado. Is that an Eagles song?
Right. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised Seinfeld got away with that, actually. No.
That's a good point.
And then the last Rob Reiner film I watched was The Princess Bride, which is
a great one. I love that one. Yeah. As you wish. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
The beautiful Robin Wright. I mean, just stunningly beautiful in that movie.
You also got the Wonder Years kid in there too.
Yeah, Fred Savage. Yep.
Yeah, Fred Savage.
And the grandfather's played by Peter Falk, who was Columbo for many years on TV.
Wow.
And then I
no relation to Kevin Falk or Marshall Falk.
No. You. It's just Falk, no Faulk. Two 2025 releases that I watched, and they were both Netflix related. So they're both movies that are currently on Netflix. They were in theaters for a little bit, both of these. The first one was Jay Kelly, which is the new George Clooney, Adam Sandler movie. George Clooney plays an aging actor who's getting towards the end of his career, and Adam Sandler's his agent, and they go on this trip.
Was it any good? That doesn't seem like something that's up my alley. So
I don't be in a hurry to check it out. Okay. I mean, it's fine. I do think Adam Sandler is very good. If you like Adam Sandler, I would check it out for him.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Adam Sandler, but I'm not rushing to see everything he's in. So the fact, that basically is just like, okay, I don't need to bother with this because it's not something that I would ordinarily watch anyway, so I can just pass.
No. And then the other one is the new Knives Out mystery, which is called Wake Up Dead Man.
I've seen like
stars-
3,000 commercials for this.
Now this, if you are a fan of the Knives Out movies, I would highly recommend Wake Up Dead Man.
I
Wake
still
Up Dead
haven't
Man is
seen
very
I still
good.
haven't seen Glass Onion.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely watch that.
I need to see that.
So Wake Up Dead Man stars Josh O'Connor as a priest who is reassigned to kind of a small church where the Monsignor who is played by Josh Brolin, is kind of this overbearing type. And he kind of is rough on Josh O'Connor. Glenn Close plays the kind of the woman in charge of everything at the church. Like she basically keeps everything running smoothly. And then some members of the congregation are Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington. It's a typical Knives Out movie. There's like all these
Big cast.
stars.
Big cast.
Yeah. Mila Kunis plays the sheriff of the town. I hadn't seen Mila Kunis in something in a while.
Didn't you watch Black Swan recently? Wasn't she in that?
Yeah, but I mean like something new.
Like a new?
Like she hasn't been in. Yeah,
I need to go back and watch Black Swan.
I
That
did.
movie was.
I did watch Black Swan. I did watch Black Swan recently, but I mean like a newer film. But so basically, like any Knives Out movie, there's a murder that needs to be solved. Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc gets called in to solve it. So it's but this one's really good. If you liked, like I said, if you liked the first Knives Out, I would definitely check out Glass Onion also. But this one's very good. Josh O'Connor is kind of the star of this movie. He's kind of the.
They need to. They need to bring back Ana de Armas. That's what they really need to do.
No, that's true. I will say Josh O'Connor kind of has a good run going right now because he did Challengers. Challengers was the movie last year with Zendaya and Mike Face, I believe is his name. And then this year he has this movie, Wake Up Dead Man. He has another movie called The Mastermind, which is supposed to be pretty good. He is in the new, I don't know if you saw the trailer for the new Steven Spielberg movie that's coming out next year about aliens. Josh O'Connor.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Movie.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen
the
preview.
It's called like Declaration Day or something like that. Anyway,
I thought that's when we put tariffs on everything.
Yeah, right. That too. Yeah. And then finally, I wrapped up my Criterion Challenge. I watched my last two films for that. The first category was a film by a director whose work you have not seen before. The director in question was David Cronenberg. I don't know if you know that director. He directed such films as The Fly,
Okay.
Eastern Promises, A History of Violence, Scanners. Okay, anyway, I didn't watch any of those movies. I watched.
So we're in the same.
One called Dead.
We were in the same boat.
Yeah, I watched one called Dead Ringers. So Cronenberg's kind of MO in his movies is body horror. He's kind of a body horror type. Like The Fly is one of the probably quintessential body horror movies. I watched this movie called Dead Ringers. It stars Jeremy Irons as twin gynecologists. So there's two twins. They're both gynecologists, and they get up to some shenanigans. I'll just say. I'll just put it like that.
Body horror and gynecology. That is a combination.
Yeah, it's not terrible. This one's not, or at least I mean, because I'm not a big gross, body horror type person, but this one wasn't bad. This was more of a little bit more of a psychological type horror, I guess. And then the last category was watch any Criterion film from your watch list, and I watched 1940s Alfred Hitchcock's movie Hitchcock movie Rebecca. This is it's based on a novel.
I
I
read
forget
the
who
no-
wrote the novel, but
I
basically,
so I actually
okay.
first I read it in high school freshman year, and then this year I actually went back and reread it like within I would say it was like
Okay.
this calendar year I went back and reread it.
Okay,
It's
cool.
I mean
So
the plot
I have
twist
not.
the plot twist is great.
Yeah, yeah. The plot twist is great. I I kind of went in cold. I had never read the book. I really only watched it because it was on my watch list, which was part of the criteria, and two, the Big Picture podcast that I listen to quite frequently, they had done an episode about Hitchcock a couple years ago, and of all the movies that they kind of did a top 5 list, and this was the one on the list that I hadn't seen, so I figured might as well
Didn't this
watch
one
it.
Best Picture too, right?
Did it? Maybe it did. I'd have
I'm
to
pretty sure.
check. I don't
think
know
this
if
was
it,
because
yeah.
when we did a draft of Best Picture movies, and I'm pretty sure
Oh, you might be right.
that
Might be
this
right.
was
Let's see here. Stars Laurence Olivier and
Best Picture and Best Cinematography.
Joan Fontaine. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. That was probably another reason I watched it, because I do eventually want to get to a point where I've seen all the Best Picture winners. But
You want to watch The Artist?
Ooh, that one's rough.
That,
Yeah, there's a couple in there. It was like that's one Crash from like 2000, the one that beat Brokeback Mountain.
I saw Crash. That movie is awful. That movie sucked.
Yeah.
Don't waste your
It sucks.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
Well,
yeah,
it
so
sucks.
That's there you go, Frank. So that wraps up my watching for the week. Oh, I did watch a couple of I'll just mention I did do my annual viewing of It's a Wonderful Life for the Christmas season. Movie is fantastic. I love it. Just gets me every
Great
year.
movie.
So great movie. All right, let's move on to something not so great, which is my bowl picks. Unless you got something else you want to.
No, let's get to our terrible bowl picks.
Yeah. Okay, so in the bowl challenge, so we actually had a game just go final. Old Dominion defeated South Florida 24-10, I think was the final.
1-3.
So
now. I'm 1-3.
So that puts me 0-4. Me and our good friend Donnie are bringing up the rear, as it were.
Is Andy 2-2 or 3-1?
So you are 1-3. I'd have to check. Let me pull it up real quick here, because I only have it updated. I totally forgot there was a game last night. The Troy and was it Jacksonville State? Troy.
What is the IS4S or something bowl?
Yeah.
I don't
so
know.
Yeah, I'm actually just
I don't know if we should be calling the Armed Services Bowl something that's so close to ISIS. Like that. We're getting a little.
You make a fair point,
there.
Andy's running away with it. He's 3-1 right now.
Oh man,
so
we can't let him get away with this.
Everybody else is 1-3 or 0-4. So yeah, he is the Packers to our Vikings at this, or he is the Bears, excuse me, to our Vikings at this point. I don't want to compare Andy with the Packers.
Oh yeah, you'll be in the area of grievances next week.
I will, absolutely. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns and the Delaware Blue Hens are playing right now. I forget the name of the bowl, but they just started. So I've got Louisiana -2.5. So let's hope hope something swing. We get a change in things. Reminder: we did pick the quarterfinal games for the college football playoff. The first quarterfinal game is Friday night. I forget who's playing, but I think it's Miami,
Oklahoma.
Texas A&M,
No,
maybe.
I thought Oklahoma and Alabama
Oh
was
no,
Friday.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Oklahoma, Alabama. So next week, so 2 weeks from now, we will be picking the semifinals because by that point we will know who's playing in the semifinals. On the first one being on New Year's Eve, Ohio State hosting that game. So more to come there. So hopefully by 2 weeks from now, my picks have gotten a little better, but I won't hold my breath. Hey, at a certain point,
they can't get any worse.
I'm like, well, there's that, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe losing all the games is actually pretty impressive if you think about it. Like it's got like for you to like go 0-40 whatever is like
it would be impressive.
Pretty
all
impressive.
Right.
This is the 6-8 Ventures Bowl that Louisiana and Delaware are playing.
Not the 6-7 Ventures Bowl.
Not the 6-7, the 6-8. All right, so let's get on to the NFL picks here. So preseason picks for Week 15. I was 8-8. You were 7-9. I'm 130-94 for the season. You're 131-92. What happened there? Oh, I probably not counting a tie or something.
Something's missing.
Something's missing. You're a game. Let's just say you're a game ahead of me because you got one more win than I do. I have 2 teams correctly predicted. I didn't write them down. I apologize. I don't remember. You have 5.
I don't remember my 5 either.
And you remember that's fine. Against the spread. So for the week, I was 7-9, not too shabby. You were the reverse of that. You were 9-7. 91-133 for the season.
We should pause for a moment because I started out 7-2, and so things came crashing back to earth pretty quickly there.
Oh, yikes! Yikes!
Still over 500.
So I am 91 I'm 91-133 for the season, bringing up the rear. Brandon is 106-118. He is 5 games, I guess 5.5 games behind Andy. Andy's 111-112 for the season. So he's knocking on the door of 500, Andy is, but can't quite get there. Confidence picks. I was 8-8 for 79 points. You were 11-5 for 100 points. There you go, buddy. There you go. You're at 143-80. You're leading. You're at 1,263 points. I am in third place at 128-95, 1,119 points. Our good friend Andy is a game. Is that right? Is he a game ahead of me? Wait, how's that work?
He's 1 win ahead of you. Remember, he missed a week.
He's 1 win ahead of me. Oh, that's right. That's right. I was like, how does this work? Yeah, he's 1 win ahead of me. He's 3 points ahead of me total. So I forgot he missed the week. And I think Matt Eberflus gave up on us.
He's given up on a lot of stuff.
He gave up on the Cowboys defense too. Yeah, apparently. Win totals. We have 4 new teams that have sealed their win totals for the season. The Rams over 10.5. The Raiders, the Titans, and the Giants all under 5.5. So that is half the league is now set at their win totals. So 16 teams. I am 9-7.
I'm even Steven.
My good friend Brandon and our good friend Andy are both even Steven at 8-8. So I want to say of the 4 Rams, Raiders, Giants, and Titans, I think I only got one of them right. I think the Titans was the only one I got right. But anyway. And finally, our win-loss game for the year, I am ahead 141-131 at the moment. So, I have a feeling it's going to be tough for you to catch me.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be tough for you to catch me in that because It would require. Well, I mean, the Saints did win 2 in a row, so I guess if the Saints win the rest of their games, that would probably.
They're
help
hot.
Yeah, and if you see the rest of their schedule, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, I guess.
It's pretty ugly.
It's pretty ugly. All right, buddy. You want to chat about Week 15? Let's start with one of our new segments here at the show, where we got to support the team.
Well, support the team. Hey, man, just trying to support the team.
Well, you got to support your team, huh?
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's get it on!
Got to support the team, Paul. I don't know if I want to support my team right now.
Oh, did you play it? I didn't.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
I didn't hear it. Did you play it?
No,
I didn't.
Well, support the team. Hey, man, just trying to support the
I mean, if you heard it, that's fine.
I'm just trying to support the team. I'm just trying to support the Well, support the team. Hey, man, just trying to support the team.
Well, you got to support your team, huh?
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's get it on!
Did you hear it? Nothing?
Nope.
Well, that's
Nothing.
great.
That's okay. That's fine. But let's just move on. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I want to get this out. I'm going to get this out of the way because this is terrible.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, Dallas moved the ball pretty well on offense. This has kind of been the story of this season, where they moved the ball pretty well on offense, even despite Florio just throwing insane stuff, like pretty much the entire night. They moved the ball. They had a couple of possessions they got into the red zone and shot themselves in the foot, and those turned into field goals. And then they also had Brandon Aubrey, who's usually really great, missed 2 field goals, which kind of gave the Vikings really good field position. And so that was part of it. So they just kind of, on the coin flip piece of this, they just couldn't, they kept missing on those moments. And then on the flip side of that, the run defense is still good. They were getting early penetration on, like, when Minnesota tried to run the ball. But then they had guys once again running wide open in the secondary. I mean, they made J.J. McCarthy look competent, which is, like, incredibly impressive. I think this might top making Russell Wilson look competent now. Although I will say he also looked competent against the Commanders last week. So we're not the only team that's done this to him. The Vikings also were able to pick up in those 4th downs. They were able to pick up 4th downs, whereas the Cowboys weren't, or ended up missing field goals, and that was a big problem. It's just the defense has gotten to the point where it doesn't seem like anyone's, like, outside of, they've done what they set out to do in fixing the run defense, because you've got Osa and Quinnen and Solomon Thomas and really good defensive tackle play. Donovan Ezeraku is coming along. You still got Dante Fowler, Jadeveon Clowney, some situational pass rushers. But the pass rush isn't able to get home quickly very often, and then the defensive backs are not, and the linebacker play, like in the back 7, you're not putting people in their best situation. So, like, this just comes back to what a bad choice Eberflus was for this specific personnel. I think they went with somebody who they were comfortable with, someone who had experience as a head coach, because they were going with the first-time head coach. And there was no real consideration given to what the personnel was and how that matched up with the defensive hire being made. And I think that's really come back to bite them now. And so, like, you're wasting, another, like, the offense is pretty much top 3 when you're, and the other thing that really kind of hurt them was they're already playing, like, Terrence Steele has actually been okay, I think, at right tackle. But then they were playing Nate Thomas, who's in for the injured Tyler Guyton, and then Nate Thomas went out. And so they were down to their 3rd string left tackle. And that ended up when Dak was having to, like, drop back every play. the pocket is collapsing and getting squeezed a lot of times because of those, like the inside guys, like Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler. Who's the other Tyler? Tyler Smith. Like those three interior guys, those guys are just like butt kickers, and they have been just like demolishing people, and they were doing things in the run game. Like being able to run behind that trio inside has been great, and you're able to handle any sort of inside pressure, but the tackle play has been really bad, and especially when you're down to your third left tackle. That was another issue, especially late in the game when you're in pass only situations and the left side of your offensive line is consistently getting caved in. That ended up being a big issue. So offense is great. You got to do whatever you can in the offseason to fix the defense and just be confident. That's all I want. Just be normal bad.
Okay, so let me ask this question. I'm going to give you 1,000 Fliff coins.
Okay.
Is Matt Eberflus the defensive coordinator of this team next season?
I thought there was a certain point where I thought they had improved enough that he was, and I think we've changed defensive coordinators 3 times over the past 3 years. So you had Quinn, then you had Zimmer, then now you've had Eberflus, and I think he wanted to try to get some continuity. I think his quote that you sent me about kind of how other quarterbacks have looked against this defense is telling, and I think he's getting a little impatient, and I think he understands that like we can't sit around and wait to see if Eberflus can get this defense to where it needs to be. I think we need to find somebody, and I think it's going to be difficult because the guys that they have, especially at corner, are better suited to a man-heavy scheme, and what is in vogue right now is more stuff that is like the shell coverages, 2 high, 4 high, like cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, and a lot of that stuff. And Dallas does not have the personnel to run that right now.
Okay. So
I would wager that he's gone.
So assuming, okay, so I guess next part of that question is assuming that the Cowboys don't make the playoffs, which is it's very much a long shot at this point.
Right.
And you have 2 first-round picks. I'm assuming both of those first-round picks are going to be defense.
I assume so, but I think you have to be careful because a lot of times when you're drafting guys, you're drafting young players. You're not going to necessarily see improvement. They may not be able to come in, even if they're first-round picks, they're going to be mid to late first-round picks, and you may not see their impact at a high level immediately. And I think what this defense needs is immediate help. So I think one of them you have to use on defense, but I think the other thing that you need to do, you're going to be able to create some cap space by pulling levers in contracts. And what you need to do with that is go out in free agency and try to find some veteran guys. Maybe, I don't know about trades because they're kind of a little bit depleted on their draft resources because they don't have a second and a third this year because of what they did for some of the trades that they made. And so I think at this point, you may be better off trying to find some cash and using that in free agency to try to fill in with veteran proven players who you think will fit with whatever new system you're bringing in.
Yeah. Any like dream list defensive coordinators for you?
That's the thing.
I mean, I know you said just somebody who's competent, but
yeah, that's the thing is I don't know who's going to be available and who would suit what would be really great. What I would really love, Aaron Glenn gets fired from the Jets because the Lions.
Yeah, I mean
the Lions are a man-heavy scheme. He would be able to. The secondary is the issue right now, and being able to bring him in, a veteran guy, also been around the Cowboys, former Cowboy player, who is a great defensive mind. Like that's my dream situation is that the Jets can get their stuff together. So, I mean,
Steve Wilkes is available now because he just got fired. So
there we go. I mean, I guess Gannon's probably going to be available, and he's a fairly savvy defensive guy, right? Like, I guess that's another one. So,
but would you hire a former Eagles DC?
I'll take anybody who gives us the confidence at this point.
Yeah.
Can't be picky.
All right. Yeah, right. Okay. So let me quickly talk about
this. Let's talk about a winning team.
Yeah, hey, how about that? Two wins in a row for the Saints. So there goes my futures bet of over under 1.5 wins in a row for the season. But anyway, yeah. So this game was a pleasant surprise, I would say. I going into the game, I thought they had a good chance to win. I mean, they had obviously just beaten Carolina a couple weeks ago. This game being at home. But I did think Carolina was going to be a little bit more desperate. We saw this a lot this week we'll talk about some of the other games here in a minute. These teams that were desperate for a win, the team that it seemed like in a lot of these games, the team that was desperate for the win got the win. And so like Carolina here had a chance to set themselves up to clinch the division going into this week. If they beat New Orleans, they would have had a clinching game this week against Tampa. But, give the Saints credit. They were down 17-7 at one point. Come back. Or no, they were down, was it 17-7? No, I think it was, anyway, either way. They were down a couple scores, and fought back. Shuck had the play that everybody's talking about where he takes a bullet, sells the injury, whatever. Bad officiating in the Superdome. Yeah, that's a shame. Whatever.
Shocker.
Yeah, I don't like. But what I found funny was, I don't know if you caught this, but so Shuck has that play. So basically, the idea was there was 12 seconds left on the clock. The idea was they were going to run the play, Shuck slides, then they were going to run the field goal team on the field to kick the field goal as time expired. Well, he gets hit late. Shuck gets hit late. He sells the injury. That way they stop the clock at 9 seconds. So what the Saints do is they have Spencer Rattler go out there and take one snap, literally take the snap, run around a little bit, and then with 6 seconds left, he just throws it out of bounds. Because all they're trying to do is just keep the field goal. Like, they just want to keep field goal range. So they do that. 6 seconds left. Charlie Smith, the new kicker, who they now is signed to the active roster as of this week, comes in, kicks the game-winning field goal, and that's that. And then they win the game. Yeah, look. Obviously, Shuck has been the pleasant surprise, but the entire draft class for 2025, Kelvin Banks, your guy from UT, 0% pressure rate allowed this week. Banks are closed on Sunday, apparently. Shuck, who's a second-round pick, obviously he's got the most wins of any rookie quarterback in the NFL this year, I believe. Well, it could be, if I'm not mistaken. He's doing it with, basically Olave is his only receiver. I mean, he had Valet. Him and Valet were playing really well together, but then Valet gets hurt, and he's probably out for the rest of the season now with
Devon Valet.
Yeah. He's probably out now. He busted his shoulder up, so he's probably out for the rest of the season now. And then, he's doing – and then his running backs were Devin Neal and Audric Estime and Evan Hull. Shucks – he's showing me something. Like, he's hanging in there, and he's putting good performances together.
With Audric, you don't want to underestimate him.
Yes, you do not. You do not. Audric Estime is going to be running back number 1 this week, because Devin Neal's out already for this week against the Jets. But
he needs to Devin Hill,
and Kamara's not practicing. Yeah, he needs to Devin Hill. They just signed Naheem Hines, I think, to the practice
That's
squad.
a name. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Oh, brother.
Yeah. Then the defense has been like you were talking about Dallas's defense. Like Brandon Staley's got this defense playing really well.
That must be nice.
Kind of turned it around. I almost feel like he's. I kind of hope he hasn't turned it around so much that he maybe screws around and gets a head coaching job this offseason. I don't think he will, but
maybe in a couple years.
Maybe in a couple of years, but I really like, and I think Kellen Moore's starting to come around as a head coach. I know I was critical of him a couple weeks ago, but like it feels like he's maybe getting a little more comfortable in his skin as a head coach, as it were. We're all feeling pretty good right now. Of course, they'll lose to the Jets this week, and then next week I'll be mad as a hornet. But no, look, it's all. I mean, the biggest thing, and we've talked about it on the show before, is you got to hit your draft classes. Like all this salary cap stuff, all that is important. But if you're not drafting well, it's not gonna matter. And it looks like, at least for now, the Saints have.
Especially if you're trading up to draft bad players.
Right. Speaking of bad players, Cesar Ruiz needs to get off my team. He's a liability at left guard at this point. Like there was literally one play where it looked like, Cesar Ruiz sacked Tyler Shuck because of how he just got pushed right back. Like I was like, did he sack him? Like does he get credit for the sack? But anyway, listen, for the Saints, I mean, back-to-back weeks, you beat two teams that were above 500, had winning records at the time. Shuck leads a game-winning drive. He's the first rookie quarterback to do that since Jaden Daniels last year. But a lot of positives right now. But like I said, they'll lose to the Jets this week, and then we'll be right back where we were. The Saints' last three games are home Jets, at Titans, at Falcons. So, it's very possible that they win these last three games. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
You got to win at least two of those.
Right. Well, you would think, yeah. Because right now I think, we'll talk about the draft standings here in a little bit, but they're definitely going to be picking. I would say there's a chance they pick as low as 10, maybe. But I would much rather pick number 10 overall and have a quarterback that you're confident in going into 2026 than pick a number 10 overall. And it's is Derek Carr going to retire, or is, what's going to, that kind of thing. So, I'll definitely take that. All right. So and then for the Panthers, just a complete,
that's a
poop show on their part.
They after the Thursday game, Atlanta completes that comeback, and you're okay, now Carolina's in pole position, and they just
it's like I said, if Carolina wins that game against New Orleans this week against Tampa, it's a win, and you clinch the division, not a playoff spot, the division. So yeah, I mean they kind of dropped the ball there, and we'll see what happens as the Panthers and Bucks play each other. We'll talk about I'll talk more about the NFC South playoff here in a little bit, but let's move on to our next segment here. Really, really great.
Just great, really great, really, really great. Don't you think so, Elaine?
Yeah, really great.
Nothing?
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to let you take this. I need to check something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. So I'm going to go to the AFC East battle here. Brian Daboll presents Bills 35, Patriots 31. Probably the game of the day. Patriots were up 21-0 in this game. I, of course, was riding the Drake as my fantasy team. Was looking pretty good. And then here come the Bills. Storm all the way back. Go up and take the game here 35-31 and prevent the Patriots from clinching both the playoff spot and the AFC East. The Patriots win here would have clinched both.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
That's right. Chris Berman once told us once upon a time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The AFC, the playoff picture in the AFC is kind of crazy right now. I said this, I think it was last week or the week before, where I said I wouldn't be surprised if the AFC representative in the Super Bowl is not a division winner. It's one of the wild cards. Because right now, the three wild cards are the Bills, the Chargers, and the Texans. And I could easily see any of those three teams going on a run, through the playoffs here. But, I mean, there's still an outside chance the Bills actually win the AFC East if the Patriots falter here down the stretch. But for this week, yeah, look, Josh Allen showed you why he's the MVP. I mean, he put together – and James Cook. By the way, Buffalo, you have James Cook. You might want to use him. Like I feel like they kind of forget that every once in a while, but, who am I? What do I know?
Well, I mean, you say that, but it's like – well, we could use James Cook or we could use this giant, huge guy with a laser arm instead.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Then, tough choice.
And I mean, their receivers, man. Like, I mean, we've talked about this with the Bills before, but like they've gone through these like, I mean, they signed Amari Cooper last year and then
traded for him.
Yeah, traded for him. Didn't use him. Barely used them. The Keon Coleman thing right now is kind of a mystery, like what happened to him with he was a healthy scratch at one point, I think like last week or the week before. I mean, the best receiving option they have is probably Knox or Kincaid. Well, Kincaid, but I think he's hurt, right?
Right.
So Dawson Knox is kind of their best.
Didn't they sign some? Didn't they try to add somebody this year too that like was completely washed? Am I misremembering that?
Was it Cooks?
Yes, that was it. That was it. Trying to trade for a former Cowboys receiver or add a former Cowboys receiver that's completely washed at this point.
That was after the Saints completely screwed up his. God, we talked about this. Like he was with the Saints. And they tried to cut him, or they did waive him, but then the Players Association was like, no, you can't. The way they were trying to do it, I guess, was against the CBA or something. So like they had to go through all these iterations of like trying to waive him, and they finally did, and then the Bills picked them up off waivers. Yeah, but all that to say, as long as they've got Josh Allen, they're going to be contenders. And I will say, if there's ever a year Buffalo is going to get through the AFC and get to the Super Bowl, based on what's going on in the rest of the AFC, we'll talk about here in a little bit, this has got to be the year. Like, there's no excuse at this point. Like, if they get there,
all your nemesis are like struggling and out of it right now.
There's no Mahomes, there's no Burrow. There's probably not going to be a Lamar, although they beat Lamar in the playoffs before
last year, right?
Last year. So if not now, when? If you're a Bills fan. So all right, buddy. I'm gonna step aside for a second while you take your turn here.
So I've got the AFC South battle at the top. Both teams won this week in commanding fashion. The Texans took down the Cardinals 40-20, and the Jaguars destroyed the Jets in New York. I believe that was in New York, 48-20. Teams taking care of business as the Colts continue to just fall by the wayside. So I really think I'm a little disappointed that the AFC South, the two teams that are really vying for the crown right now between Houston and Jacksonville, have already played their two games. But it's going to be great to kind of see them go head to head for a division that, kind of coming into the year, looked like it might not be super interesting, and the Texans got off to a slow start, like we thought they might. The Colts looked like they were going to run away with it. The Jags have been pretty inconsistent. Their defense has played well, but I think you're finally starting to see sort of what the Jags are able to do in the Liam Cohen offense. It looks like Trevor Lawrence is playing more up to his draft stock at this point. And it just seemed like it's I think the addition of Jacoby Myers and then just giving that team time to find itself has really kind of allowed the offense to gel. And I think the other thing that bringing Myers in is that they've been able to use not Brian Robinson. Who's the wide receiver? Is it
Brian
Thomas Jr.? Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. is now like more in being used in a role that suits his skill set a little better instead of having to go across the middle. I think they've got Myers for that now, and you're able to use Brian Thomas as more of a deep field stretcher. And so I think you're just kind of seeing that offense come together with a defense that's been playing at a high level, whereas in Houston, you're seeing a defense that's playing at a high level and an offense that's starting to get it together. And those teams are just going to battle it out until the end. Like I said it earlier, but I think the really disappointing thing is these two teams have already played each other 2 times already. So like we're not going to get to see them go head to head, which kind of sucks to not get to see that right now.
Well, I've just thought about this. How crazy would it be if that's the AFC Championship, Texans and Jaguars? Like that would be insane.
What are the ratings going to be on that? Like 2 million people watching.
Goodell's going to be like, Taylor, let's make sure Buffalo's at least in this.
Can we get Taylor Swift to show up?
Yeah, can we get somebody to show up? Anybody to show up? Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Texans, man, it's so funny. This time last year we were like, well, Texans are going to make the playoffs and they're going to lose they're going to be one and done, and that's going to be it. And now this year it feels like, I don't know if you want to play the Texans, buddy, in the play. Like I don't
think you do. That defense is nasty.
And Stroud is like getting comfortable. That offense, like Woody Marks came out of nowhere and is like
well, I think I think also the fact that their offensive line has not been a complete disaster for the past couple of weeks is
right.
Like they're actually like that was the problem at the beginning of the season. And the offensive line was the same mess that it was last year. You're like, okay, we're just going to do this again.
Yeah.
And they've gotten it together, and that's allowed them to not be the same sort of mess. Like Stroud is able to trust the protection and find Nico Collins and the other weapons that they've got, and that's what you're starting to see on the offensive side of the ball there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a dangerous team, man. The Texans. I don't know if they're going to catch Jacksonville for the division. I mean, I hope they do because that's who I picked to win the division was Houston. But Indianapolis. Unfortunately, we'll talk more about them here in a minute. But unfortunately for them, doesn't feel like it's gonna happen. I will say the AFC playoff field. So we should mention this. I believe the Broncos clinched a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that means there are now 6 available spots. And I want to say there are 9 teams, which it's really not 9 teams because like Pittsburgh and Baltimore, basically you either win the North or you don't make the playoffs.
There's only one team getting in from that division.
Yeah. And then the other teams, the Colts. The Colts are technically in contention, but I mean, yeah, we'll talk more about them here in a moment. Speaking of the Ravens, they were going to lead off your portion of our next segment here, Sweet Fancy Moses.
Sweet Fancy Moses.
Yeah, so I have Marvin Lewis presents Ravens 24, Bengals 0. we talked ourselves into the Bengals, completely collapsed against the Bills last week, and then continued. Yeah. I guess that collapse carried over because they were a disaster against Baltimore. They lose 24-0 in the Marvin Lewis presented game. Just
right.
I don't know. Joe Burrow does not sound like he's having fun out there either. I think he wants to just go home and collect Pokemon at this point.
If I had heard Joe Burrow's comments before picking this game last week, I may not have picked the Bengals. So I'm gonna be honest with you.
Wait, was it Joe Burrow or was Joe Burrow the Pokemon guy, or was that Justin Herbert? Am I getting quarterbacks mixed up?
Might have been Herbert.
It
might have been Herbert. Now. I don't know. I don't know. But what I'll say is this game was 0-0 for a little while, and then the Ravens kind of took off at one point. I mean, Burrow had another bad interception, if I'm recalling correctly. So the Ravens, keep their slim hopes alive. I got a feeling, I don't know what's going to happen with the Bengals this offseason. It feels like Zach Taylor's not going to be back. If I were the Bengals, I would maybe look at Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, for head coach, because he and Burrow and Jamar Chase, for that matter, were a part of that LSU 2019 national championship team. Brady was the offensive coordinator for that team. So maybe him having that relationship with Burrow, maybe that keeps Burrow in Cincinnati, or you sell Burrow for a king's ransom to somebody. Like there's going to be you're telling me the Jets or one of these teams wouldn't just like sell their soul to get Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Like,
do the Jets have a soul to
or the
sell?
Viking?
That's the real question is.
Or the Viking, the Vikings would be interesting. The Vikings would be interesting because of the Jefferson thing, like Justin Jefferson being with the Vikings, and Kevin O'Connell with Joe Burrow. That's scary, buddy. That's a scary combination.
So it was Joe Burrow who likes Pokemon. I was correct.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Another scary sight is was in Philadelphia this week. Chip Kelly presents Eagles 31, Raiders 0. So
sweet.
Another team that probably would love to have Joe Burrow as their quarterback. The Raiders. Geno Smith was injured. Kenny Pickett started, and it wasn't any better. This is
the. I believe my message to you was that no one mourns the theme song of this revenge game that was not a revenge game was "No One Mourns the Picket."
Oops. That's absolutely no one mourns the picket.
So
I mean, this
is
go ahead.
Is Pete Carroll gone after 1 year? Is that it? Are we doing a coaching?
I think so. I did read. So I read somewhere that the Raiders were very interested in Robert Saleh to be the defensive coordinator and the head coach in waiting under Pete Carroll. Basically, like, look, come be the defensive coordinator. When Pete retires, you're the head coach. That didn't work out. He decided to go to San Francisco, which I think was a good move for him. So it's very possible they go back to Saleh this offseason and be like, hey, why don't you just come be the head coach? Why don't you just come give it a shot? I don't know. I mean, they're going to they are one of the 3 teams in the NFL right now who has 2 wins. It's them, the Giants, and the Titans. So they got a good chance to get the number 1 pick. They would be, of those 3 teams, they're the only one that needs a quarterback at this point because the Giants have Dart, Titans have Ward. I do think, I think with Tom Brady in the fold there as front office, I have a feeling he's going to be like, we need to make some changes here.
I got an idea.
But go ahead.
Why don't we have the Bengals trade Joe Burrow to the Raiders and complete the Carson Palmer career.
Oh my gosh.
Get him started on that, and then he'll end up in Arizona. And
yeah, right. I forgot about that.
There we go.
Good call. Well, no. For that to happen, wouldn't Burrow have to sit out a whole season? Didn't Palmer do that? Didn't Palmer just like?
I think getting traded to the Raiders would probably be enough to do the trick.
Yeah, there was some. I'd have to go back and revisit my Carson Palmer history, but it wasn't it like he got traded, or before he got traded to the Raiders, he like sat out a whole year.
Wasn't he was like threatening to retire?
I'm not playing for this team.
I'm not playing for this team. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, for the Eagles, their magic number is now 1. One more win or one more loss from the Cowboys, and they clinched the NFC East. They still have an outside chance at the 1 seed in the NFC, but they probably won't get there. I'm still not like.
It was the Raiders.
I still don't consider them an NFC favorite. Yeah, no. It was the Raiders. Yeah. But I am interested to see what happens. They do play Buffalo. Philadelphia does here in 2 weeks, so I am kind of interested to see what happens there. But we'll see what happens there. We'll move on here to our final segment, or our next segment, I guess. You gotta love sports.
It's 4th and inches, and the Giants are going for it. You gotta love sports.
All right, Paul. What do you? I think we both picked division races for this.
Yeah. Well,
no. You picked a division race. I picked a division race for something else.
I picked. Yeah. So the NFC South. Somebody's got to win. So we talked about the Panthers blowing their opportunity against New Orleans. The Bucks obviously dropped the ball Thursday night against the Falcons, blowing a 14-point lead to a team that had 19 penalties, missed 2 2-point conversions. Kyle Pitts has his best game of his life in this game.
The best tight end games, the best tight end fantasy game of all time, I think, or something close to it.
Oh, was it? Probably. Yeah, I would imagine. Todd Bowles gave a curse toast after the game in his press conference. It was something. So here's what I'll say about this NFC South race. So again, the Bucks and the Panthers play each other 2 out of the next 3 weeks. In between, so they play this week 16, and they play each other week 18. Week 17, the Bucks play the Dolphins, the Panthers play the Seahawks. So I was thinking the most NFC South thing would be the following scenario. Let's say whichever team wins this week. So a team wins this week, week 16. They both lose week 17. And then week 18, the team that lost this week wins in week 18, which puts them in a deadlock, same record overall, same division record, and same conference record. So they have to go to the 5th tiebreaker at that point, or whatever it is, to figure out who's going to win this damn division.
At that point, you just say, okay, both of you stay on, both of you get out.
Right. Get out. Yeah. I think at that point the Bucks would probably clinch it because the Bucks split with the Saints and the Panthers got swept by the Saints. So I would think common opponents, the Bucks would have that advantage. I would imagine. I mean, at least by that logic. Anyway, we'll see. So, by the way, going back to the Saints just real quick, if the Saints beat the Falcons week 18, they will finish with a 4-2 division record.
Mm. I,
for the season.
It seems like every year, every couple of years, not every year, but every now and then, there's one division that has
Yep.
to be
Yep.
terrible, and then we have to debate whether or not the division winner should automatically get a home game, which I still support.
Absolutely.
I think winning your division means something, but there's always something. But this year that award goes to the NFC South.
So you are not a fan of what I've heard on some shows where they said you should just take the top 7 teams regardless of division.
No. Okay. Get out of here with that.
Now, we'll talk about this here more in a little bit, but we're pretty much guaranteed at this point there's going to be a double-digit win team that does not make the playoffs. Like, we're pretty much guaranteed that. We can talk about that more in a little bit, but all right. So, what's your gotta love sports, Brandon?
Well, it's got to be Phillip Rivers, the grandpa, coming back into almost lead his team.
Yeah.
To a comeback game-winning drive. Just the defense was not able to get the stop that they needed. Phillip Rivers coming off the couch, as my wife said, looking like Blake Shelton, and rocking the dad bod out there. big fan of this. But just the fact that
Mandelbaum.
Well, and the fact that he did that against like the league's like one of the league's top 3 defenses, like, has got to be like, come on, that's like semi-impressive. Like they almost won that game. I mean, the flip side of that is the Seahawks should be a little embarrassed.
I was very nervous because, as you know, our good friend Trang, good friend of the show, I've had this methodology where I always take the opposing team, the points with the opposing team, and then I take the Seahawks to win at a confidence of 1. When this game, at halftime of this game, I'm like, holy crap. Like, if they lose this game to Phillip Rivers after I picked them to win, then I'm not going to hear the end of this. But,
it's a log out of Twitter a log out of X for a month.
But I mean, think about this. The Seahawks won that game. They didn't score a touchdown, right? There was all field goals.
No, 8 or 6 field goals. Yep.
There was 6 field goals. Obviously, and to be fair, the Seahawks do have a big game against the Rams on a short week. Might have been looking ahead. It's possible. So just for context there. But yeah, no, I texted you at one point. I'm like, this is why we watch football. I mean, like, for stuff like this, like Phillip Rivers comes off the couch. He hadn't thrown a pass he hadn't been in the NFL in 5 years. He's a grandfather. Like, all these things. It's like, yeah, we're. I do have a feeling that he's going to win one of these games down the stretch. I don't think it'll matter. Like I said, I don't think he's not going to be in the playoffs. But I don't know. I wish him all the best. This is pure cinema, as it were.
Yes.
Let's wrap up the rest of these games. We surprisingly, we haven't really talked about the big news of the week, which is that the Chiefs are not making the playoffs, and Patrick Mahomes has a torn ACL. So,
yeah, I got into work. I was talking to my coworker who Army vet and from Kansas City, big Chiefs fan, and so he was saying something, and I go, well, you just didn't have a good weekend at all. He's like, I didn't. He's like, Army lost, the Chiefs are done, Mahomes is out. He was it's like it was a whole brouhaha. So yeah, rough weekend for.
I'm interested with the Chiefs. With my thing with the Chiefs, I'm interested to see what happens this offseason. Like, if Reed decides to step aside, like, does he just feel like this is the right time? I'm kind of curious what Mahomes does next year. Like, does he even play? Like, if it's a torn ACL, like, does he just say, you know what, let me? No,
the ACLs aren't like they used to be, where it was like a full. It's like an Achilles where it's a full year. Now it's like you can be back like fairly quick, relatively quickly within like I would say within like 8 months or so. I think he'll probably end up starting the season next year healthy and on the active roster.
And I do think I think it was Andy Reid said he avoided serious ligament damage.
Yeah, it wasn't, and it didn't. When you see the hit, it doesn't look like the gruesome sort of. You've seen some pretty bad knee injuries, like I mean.
No, well, I was watching the game, and I'm like the play happens, and then he's grabbing his knee. It was one of those where at the time when I saw him grab his knee, I'm thinking, okay, this isn't good. Because it was that very, very typical kind of almost a non-contact type of injury where like I forget who was chasing him down, but like the guy basically like kind of reaches at his leg and he just kind of rolls over kind of funny. Mahomes, that is, rolls over kind of funny, and then he just immediately grabs his leg, and it's like, okay, well, this is either Achilles or knee, and turned out to be his ACL. So yeah, so I'm very interested to see what happens with the Chiefs going into next season. I think Kelsey's going to retire. Chris Jones is getting up there in age too. Interested that they're kind of a sneaky like their roster is not.
They're going to need to
they're
going to need to do like a reset, like not a rebuild, but they're going to have to. You're going to have to take it. They need to take a good, hard, long look in the mirror and like really address some of the questions that they have going into the off season. We should also mention the other big ACL injury, which was the Green Bay Packers are now without the guy that they traded 2 number 1 picks for. So that's a shame.
Yeah, so the Packers lose 34-26 to the Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett presented that one. So the Broncos get the playoff berth. They're the first team to clinch in the AFC. Yes, it's looking dim for the Packers. I was kind of holding out hope, like maybe my Jordan Love MVP future wasn't completely dead. No, it's dead. It's buried.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it ain't coming back for sure. Packers have a sneaky I'll talk about the NFC North playoff scenarios here in a little bit, but like there's a sneaky chance the Packers get left out in the cold, as it were. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. The other team that clinched a playoff spot this week was the Rams, 41-34 over the Lions. Mike Martz presented that one. The Rams when they're firing on all cylinders. Now, the Devontae Adams injury is a problem.
Well, that one was like a very clear, like he was running a go route and he just like pulled up and is like, okay, that's a hammy.
Yeah. So so if he's out for an extended period of time, which he probably will be, that could be a problem. The other thing I'll mention, and I'll point out, I'll just say, Jeff Fisher presented 49ers 37, Titans 24, a game which I did not watch a second of. I didn't realize until the late afternoon slate that there were 5 games. And I'm like, do I really want to put 49ers Titans on my iPad? And I'm like, nah,
no,
I'll just keep track of it.
Speaking of games, well, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is that the 49ers have a sneaky outside chance of winning the NFC West. They're lurking. They're kind of, everybody forgets that, like, oh yeah, by the way, the 49ers have 10 wins because they haven't really played anybody. Like
they ain't played nobody.
So they ain't played nobody. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, speaking of games that I didn't watch a single minute of, Monday night, Steelers Dolphins. That was fun. I was like, I checked the score and it was almost halftime and it was 3-0. I was like, well, I don't need to turn that game on.
Yeah, I don't think I watched any of this one either. Cowboy legend Chan Gailey presented that one. Yeah, so the Dolphins had an outside chance at a playoff spot, but now they don't. Now they've been eliminated. And Tua has been benched. It's Longhorn legend Quinn Ewers' time in Miami. We'll see. We'll see what that happens. So, you know what the funny thing is? We may have come all the way back around to McDaniels getting fired. Like we started, we were like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely going to get fired. No doubt about it." They win some games in a row. It's like, okay, well maybe he saved his job. And now it's like, well, did he? Did he save it?
I think they may give him a chance to pick a quarterback because Tua, you got to remember, Tua was not his guy. Like he didn't. That's not
true.
Because Tua was getting yelled at by Brian Flores when.
Oh, that's true.
When he started, true. And so like I think they may give him a chance to run it back with his choice of quarterback.
They just paid Tua though. That's the problem. Like he just got that contract extension.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, you can not play him. I mean, you cannot play him. Like I think his dead cap money hit is like $90 million if they cut him before June 1st. Like I'm not kidding. Like it's
good
like.
Luck with that. Okay, well that makes it a little.
And if they
more
could
difficult.
find somebody to. Now, if you can find somebody who's desperate enough to trade for him, somebody suggested they should just straight up trade Tua for Kyler Murray.
Oh, there we go.
That was kind of funny. That's kind of hilarious. Speaking of the Cardinals, they lost the. Yeah, that is sicko. Speaking of the Cardinals, they lost to the Texans 40-20. We talked about the Texans a little bit. We don't want to forget our good friend Andy. Dick Geron presented Bears 31, Browns 3. Myles Garrett up to 21.5 sacks on the season.
He's
that
close.
Record's getting closer and closer. He's pretty close. Bears just, took care of business. Got the win. Got a big one with the Packers this week. We'll talk about that more in a minute. In a game that didn't matter, Vince Lombardi presented Commanders 29, Giants 21. So let me get this straight. So the Commanders get shut out by the Vikings and then come back and beat the Giants the next week. That's what happened.
I guess the Giants just aren't that good. I think that's about they. We should also point out that Jaden Daniels is done for the season. They are just going to rest.
Yeah.
Which is probably the smart
move.
Which
makes sense. They should have done that. They should have done that 5 weeks ago, whenever you got hurt. Originally, yeah. Let's see. I think we touched all the games here. You talked about Jets, Jags. Yep, I think we covered it all. All right, so let's briefly talk about the playoff picture. They'll do the I'll do the draft order first. So right now, as we sit, number 1, you got the Giants. 2 is the Raiders. 3 is the Titans. Browns 4, Jets 5, Cardinals 6, Saints 7, Commanders 8, Bengals 9, Rams 10th via the Atlanta Falcons. Your Cowboys, again, still sitting at the meaty part of the curve, 14. They're actually behind the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 12th right now. When's the last time the Chiefs picked that high? It's been a while, I would think.
Well, they haven't missed the playoffs since like 2014, I think.
Well, yeah, because when they drafted Mahomes, they had to trade up all the way from like the 20s to get him.
Right.
So, yes. So the Rams, again, I'm going to keep pounding this point. The Los Angeles Rams right now are the 1 seed in the NFC, but they currently hold the number 10 pick in the draft because the Falcons had to trade up to get James Pierce Jr., which
really saved their season.
James Pierce, yeah, right. So let's talk about the NFC playoffs here. So the Rams are the 1 seed. The 7-2 matchup right now is Packers-Bears, which that's the game this week, ironically. 6 versus 3, 49ers at Eagles, and 5 versus 4, as it has been for the last couple of weeks, Seahawks at Bucks. basically it'll be Seahawks at Bucks or Seahawks at Panthers at this point. Here's the scenario I wanted to go through with you in the NFC. In the NFC North specifically. So follow me here. So follow my logic here. So let's say this week the Packers beat the Bears, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would put the Packers at 10 wins. The Bears would stay at 10 wins. And then the Lions, let's say the Lions beat the Steelers on Sunday. So that puts the Lions at 9 wins. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to week 17. The Lions beat, I think it's the Vikings. I forget who the Lions play week 17. But let's say the Lions win week 17. The Packers play the Ravens week 17. Let's say for the sake of this argument, they lose that game. So they're at, or actually, no. Yeah, they lose that game. So they're at 10. And then the Bears play the 49ers week 17. Let's say the Bears win that game. So that puts the Bears at 11. So the Bears are at 11. The Packers are at 10. The Lions are at 9. Or no, the Lions are at 10 because they've won 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now we go to week 18. Week 18, the Packers play the Vikings. Lions play the Bears. If the Lions beat the Bears and the Packers beat the Vikings, that means you would have all 3 of those teams would be at 11 wins. Okay? So that would mean the Packers, the Bears, and the Lions are all at 11 wins. The Packers, by virtue of beating the Bears this week, would have, and beating the Vikings week 18, would have a 6-0 record in the division. They also have the tie. So the Packers would be your division champions at that point. The Lions would have beaten the Bears twice, beat them week 2 and beat them week 18. That gets the Lions ahead of the Bears. That puts the Bears on the outside looking in. But if the Bears have beaten the 49ers in week 17, that helps them a little bit with the wild card. Just depends on what the 49ers do in their other 2 games. So that is a scenario, is what I'm talking about, where we could have an 11-win team in the Bears not make the playoffs. It's very, very, very plausible.
That'd be a shame.
Or you could have a 10-win team in the 49ers or a 10 or 11-win team in the 49ers not make the playoffs, which would
also be a shame.
The 49ers, as I mentioned, do have an outside chance to win the NFC West. They basically have to win out, and they got to root for the Seahawks on Thursday. Because if they win out, they'll play the Seahawks week 18, and they would have beaten the Seahawks twice because they beat them in week 1.
They have the tiebreaker over them.
They would have that tiebreaker, and they would just need the Rams to not get to 13 wins, basically. I think they split with the Rams. I don't know if the Rams swept them or not. Anyway, so just a couple of random NFC playoff things. But the Packers, as far as the NFC goes, so you've got these 7 teams that we just talked about. Your Cowboys are basically 1 loss away from being eliminated. And then Detroit's the other team who's kind of sniffing it. Who goes around sniffing? But
we don't have to talk about the Cowboys playoff chances at this point, because like the whole hope was like your defense had like maybe gotten better with Quinnen Williams to be like good enough to like support the offense if you got to the playoffs. Like, but we've seen in the last 2 weeks that that's not the case. So I think we can put that horse out to pasture.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just say the Eagles have to win. They have to beat the Commanders once or beat the Bills week 17, and they win the NFC East. While the Cowboys, you guys have what? The Chargers,
Commanders, Giants are the last 3. So
Giants,
so like those 2 are winnable games, but who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
But hey, but let me ask you this though. If I told you at the beginning of the season the Cowboys were going to win 9 games, Would you have taken that?
Yeah, probably. Well,
There you go.
If you had said that before the Parsons trade, I would have been like, oh, I think we could get to 10. If you said that right after the Parsons trade, I'd be like, okay, I'll sign up for that. So,
right, that's what I'm saying. If, like the day after the Parsons trade, if I had said, Brandon, the Cowboys are going to win 9 games, do you sign up for that? You would have said yes, right?
What I need is for them to win at least 2 more games so that I hit the over 7.5 that I currently have out. That's the important thing here. So that's that's what we're cheering for now.
That's what we're cheering for, yeah. All right, in the AFC, we've kind of talked about this a little bit. The Broncos are the 1 seed. Your Cowboys can actually help them out this week if they beat the Chargers, but good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Right now, it would be Texans 7 seed at 2 seed Patriots, Bills 6 seed at 3 seed Jaguars, Chargers 5 seed at Steelers 4 seed. I got to be honest, buddy. In all 3 of those games, I would probably pick the lower seeded team. I mean, like you're telling me the Bills can't go to Jacksonville and win? The Chargers can't go to Pittsburgh?
You watch your mouth. That's our Jags. That's our Jaguars. This is a Jaguars show.
I don't know about that, buddy. All right. Okay. Let me get myself in order here so we can do our picks for week 16. I keep forgetting what week we're on. Only 3 weeks left, buddy.
I do too. Thank goodness.
Okay.
Put me out of my misery.
Yeah, right. Okay. Here, let me I gotta get situated here. Okay, we will start Thursday night football here. Rams at Seahawks. This one brought to you by Saints legend Will Herring. Will Red Herring, as it were.
I was going to say not Red Herring, is he?
Still to be decided. So the Seahawks are at home getting 1.5. So I'm in a little bit of a different scenario with my friend Trang. So for the last 5 weeks, the Seahawks have been the favorite team. Here they're the underdog. So I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Rams, and I'm going to take the Rams to win at a 1.
I am going to take the Rams -1.5, and I am going to take the Rams at a 1.
There you go. All right, we got 2 Saturday games. So remember that, boys and girls. We got some Saturday games here. Up first, we got Dick Fram presents Eagles at Commanders. Commanders are getting 6.5 points. I think this has moved up to 7 in some books I saw. I'm going to lay the 6.5 with the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles at a 13.
I have Eagles -6.5. Eagles at a 13.
There you go.
You looking at my screen, Paul?
If that is, no, I promise I'm not. All right, the nightcap on Saturday night, brought to you by the late great Hall of Famer Steve Mongo McMichael. Packers at Bears. Bears are getting 1.5. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Packers. I've got Packers at a 6.
So close. Packers -1.5. Packers at a 5.
No, we're simpatico so far.
Yeah,
that's scary.
I know that's not a good sign for anybody.
Although, well, it might be a good sign for Andy, I guess.
No, that's true.
For our good friend Andy. Up next, we got here Patrick Creighton presents Chargers at Cowboys. How are the Cowboys favored in this game?
They're at home. They're at home.
Okay, sure.
They're favored by less Cowboys, than the home field advantage. So
I saw this up to 2.5 in some books. The number we have here is 1.5. Cowboys laying 1.5. I'm taking the 1.5 with the Chargers, and I'm taking the Chargers at an 11.
Chargers 1.5. Chargers at a 10.
10. I went to 11 in honor of Rob Runner. All right, up next. Okay, if you had told me at the beginning of the season the Saints were going to be a 4.5 point favorite at some point this season, I'd have asked you for a drug test.
Well, you probably
here
would
we
have
are.
guessed. You probably would have guessed it would have been between a couple of teams. So the Jets are probably on that
fair
list.
enough. Yeah. I want to say at the beginning of the season, because you can look at the spreads for the whole season. The only game the Saints were favored in at the beginning of the season was this game against the Jets. And by the way, shout out to our friends over at This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty. Chris is a Jets fan. This one brought to you by Quinn Early. Saints are laying 4.5. I'm taking the points with the Jets. Are you sitting down, Brandon? I'm taking Saints at a 2.
Saints minus 4.5. Saints at an 11. Wow. Yeah, but this goes up to 11.
So this is the first time in this show's history that I have picked the Saints.
This will be this will go well.
This will go. Now to be clear, I took the points with the Jets, but I picked the Saints in the confidence to win. All right, up next, another game that doesn't matter. Scott Mitchell presents. Okay, listen to this, boys and girls. Bengals at Dolphins. The number we have is Dolphins minus 1.5. Now these numbers came out before the Tua benching. Right now, you can get Bengals minus 5.5 on the books. It has swung that hard. I'm taking the 1.5 with the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals at a 10.
I need to. Okay, I have the Bengals. I have the. I'll take the Bengals in the points, but I have the Bengals at a 3.
So I actually had the Dolphins at a 10 when Tua was playing because I'm like, look, it's in Miami. Burrow looks like he doesn't want to play anymore. Like
that's the big one.
And then I just like, well, yeah, well, but then when the Ewers news came down, I'm like, okay, I'll just switch it to Bengals, keep it at 10.
That's exactly. I forgot because I originally had the Dolphins, and I forgot that the Ewers announcement had been made. So I'm with you there.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we've got Tommy Barnhart presents Buccaneers at Panthers. The Panthers are getting 2.5. This game is in Carolina, so the Panthers usually play pretty well at home. I'm going to take the 2.5 with the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers at a 3.
Panthers plus 2.5. Panthers 6.
6 is good.
What, you like 6?
You like 6? Okay, we've got a Bless Them Boys legend here. Billy Cundiff presents Bills at Browns. The Browns are getting 9.5. I've seen this number at 10.5 in some books. Okay, I guess we didn't talk about the Shador thing, like him, Skip Bayless saying he's being sabotaged and all that stuff. But
we don't need to talk about. We don't need to give that any.
Yeah, we don't need to. we just talked about it. All right, moving on.
That's it. Moving on.
I'm gonna take the 9.5 with the Browns, but I'm gonna take the Bills at a 12.
I have Browns plus 9.5. Bills at a 9.
Bills at a 9. Okay.
At a 9.
Up
That's
next.
the Jets receiver at a 9 Mitchell.
Well played. Well played. Up next, we have Dick Pessanen presents Vikings at Giants.
You might want to get that checked out.
You're right. You might. Giants are getting 2.5 points. I'm laying the 2.5 with the Vikings. Vikings at a 7.
Vikings minus 2.5. Vikings at a 12.
So, which version of J.J. McCarthy you think we get this week?
Well, the Giants can't be that much better than the Cowboys on defense, can they? I mean, they just look what they just did to the Commanders. The Commanders who scored 0 points against these Vikings.
Right.
So,
right.
By logic,
I do feel sorry for Jackson Dart against this Flores blitz-heavy defense.
Oh, he's going to die. He will be in the medical tent within 3 seconds.
It's gonna be rough. I'm very interested to see what you do in this next game. So this next one's brought to you by Dick Frey. Chiefs at Titans. Titans are getting 3.5 points. I don't know what the number. I think it's still this number, even with this number came out with the Mahomes news,
right?
So,
this would be that wasn't like delayed or anything.
I'm gonna do Titans plus 3.5. I'm doing Chiefs at a 9.
Okay, get ready for this. Titans plus 3.5.
I'm ready.
Titans at a 2.
I almost went there. I'm gonna kick myself if it doesn't.
Cam Ward has quietly put together some pretty good games recently. Like I think there may be some moments. I think he may be able. I like him better than Gardner Minshew.
Well, fair enough. And Chiefs' run defense is not. I mean, Tony Pollard may have a big game too. Memphis legend, Tony.
Memphis
Pollard.
legend. That's right. Memphis legend, Cowboy legend, all the legends.
All the legends. Another legend here. Julius Thomas presents Jaguars at Broncos. I've been meaning to do the playoff scenarios, and I'll circle back and do all those here in a minute. Broncos minus 3.5. Broncos are laying 3.5. I'm taking Jaguars plus 3.5 and Jaguars at a 4.
Whoa. You got more confidence than me. It would be pretty funny if the Broncos.
Wait a minute. You were just doing what you said. This is a Jaguars show. What are you talking about?
Well, yes, it is, but we also have to remember friend of the show, Donnie. I'm
trying to help Donnie. I'm picking against his team.
I will say it would be funny for the Broncos after going out to prove that they are for real by Bo Nix having his best game of maybe his career, the Broncos beating the Packers, for them to come and lay an egg against the Jaguars would be kind of funny. But I want to take I want to take the home field advantage here and just go. I want to lay the points with the Broncos. Did you take Jags plus 3.5? You did, didn't you?
I did.
And
because I took the Jags to win.
Yeah,
I took the Jags.
Yeah, and so I am taking Broncos minus 3.5. Broncos at a 7.
All right. A game that could not matter any less. Cannonball Butler presents Falcons at Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 2.5. I'm taking the 2.5 with the Cardinals. Falcons at a 5.
Cardinals plus 2.5. Cardinals at a 4.
Jacoby Brissett, another big day incoming, maybe.
We shall see.
All right, up next, Dick Nardi presents Steelers at Lions. Lions laying 6.5.
There's a lot of things you might need to get checked out.
Get that checked too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lions minus 6.5. I'm taking Lions minus 6.5. Lions at a 14.
Lions minus 6.5. Lions at a 14.
There you go.
I have a feeling that our 16. I think our 16 is going to be the same here.
It could be. It's possible. All right, up next, another legend, Matt Schaub presents Raiders at Texans. Texans are laying 14.5. You know what? I'm changing this on the fly. I originally was taking the points with the Raiders. I'm laying 14.5 with the Texans. I don't care.
You can make a line big enough for
and
me
I'm
at
taking
this point.
and I'm taking Texans at a 15.
Oh, we're not. I was incorrect. I have Texans
This
minus
is your
14.
16?
Yeah, Texans at a 16.
All right, give me a second. I gotta update this here. I updated it in my spreadsheet. But I got to update it on my actual picks too.
Picks.
While I'm doing that, Ben Coates presents Patriots at Ravens. Ravens laying 2.5. You go ahead and give me your pick.
I have Patriots plus 2.5.
Okay.
And I have Patriots at an 8.
I have Ravens minus 2.5, and I have Ravens at an 8.
Ooh, head to head.
Head to head. All right, last but not least, Monday Night Football here. This one brought to you by Richard Dent. 49ers at Colts. Colts are getting 5.5. I'm going 49ers minus 5.5. This is my 16. 49ers at a 16.
49ers minus 5.5. 49ers 15.
15. So we were pretty close on. We're thinking general area there.
Right. We're in the same ballpark.
Okay. Let me we're in the same ballpark, yeah. All right, let me go really quick. I meant to do this. I actually meant to do this before we did the picks, but let's talk about some playoff scenarios here. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Seahawks win, clinches a playoff spot. Period. End of story. Saturday, Eagles win, clinches the NFC East. The winner of Packers-Bears clinches a playoff spot if the Lions lose on Sunday to the Steelers. So it's not just that they have to win, they also have to hope for the Lions to lose. We talked about your Cowboys. If they lose, they're done.
If the Eagles win, they're done.
East. If the Eagles win, they're done. Yeah, that too. But, well, I'll get to that in a second. Bills clinch a playoff spot with a win and a loss by either the Texans or the Colts. That's going to be a recurring theme, so just remember that scenario there. The Broncos. So this is a big game. The big game on Sunday here. Broncos can clinch the AFC West with a win over the Jaguars and a Chargers loss to Brandon's Cowboys. The Jaguars can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a loss by either Houston or Indianapolis. The Lions can't clinch a playoff spot, but they could be eliminated from the playoffs if they lose to the Steelers and the Bears and Packers tie.
Okay.
So if the Bears-Packers game ends in a tie on Saturday and the Lions lose on Sunday, the Lions are eliminated from the playoffs. Not likely, but could happen.
Well, the Packers have already played one team to a tie, so not out of the question.
Yeah. And then finally, the Patriots on Sunday night can clinch a playoff spot with a win. They just need to win. Win and you're in if you're the Patriots, or a loss by either the Colts or the Texans. And I think I'm missing a scenario here. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull up. And I get, by the way, I want to give a shout out to NFLPlayoffScenarios.com. This is where I get a lot of my information. Oh, that is not what I wanted here. NFL playoff. There we go. So let me. Okay. No, I want to see the scenarios. I don't want to see. Okay, that's okay. Clinch. Okay, sorry. They changed their website on me.
How dare they?
All
Don't they know
right.
we got a show?
Yeah, I know.
Don't
Right?
we got a show to run here?
I got things to do here. Okay, the 49ers. This is what I was trying to get to. Monday night, the 49ers beat the Colts. They clinch a playoff spot. They can also clinch a spot with a Detroit loss. So a Detroit loss clinches a spot for the 49ers. So the 49ers beating the Colts on Monday night could clinch a playoff spot for up to 4 teams. The 49ers themselves, the Patriots, assuming the Patriots have lost to the Ravens, and the Jaguars and the Bills. Because if the and the Chargers too, because if the following teams, Chargers, Jaguars, Bills, have to win and hope for a Indianapolis or Houston loss to clinch a playoff spot. The Patriots only have to win. They don't need a Houston Indianapolis loss. They just got to win. The Broncos, one last thing I'll just mention about the Broncos. If they beat the Jaguars and the Chargers, Patriots, and Bills all lose, the Broncos clinch the 1 seed in the AFC. So hopefully everybody got that.
There will be a test afterward.
There will be a test. They also have this like, oh my gosh. They've got this like 14 different scenarios on how the Packers can be eliminated from the 1 seed. But yeah,
we'll save that for next time.
We'll save that. Yeah, we'll save that for next time. I'm looking to see that. I did want to see something here. So for the NFC South, they kind of outlined this. Okay. Tampa Bay clinches the NFC South. They just have to win 2 of their next 3 games. Doesn't matter which 2. They just got to win 2 games. The Panthers, to win the NFC South, have to beat the Bucks twice. So it's not enough that they – so like the Panthers could win this week and beat Seattle next week, and that still won't matter, basically.
Gotcha.
They have to beat the Bucks both times to win the NFC South. And then the NFC West, Seattle and San Francisco basically just have to win a game at some point to clinch a playoff spot.
I just hope we can win a game.
Playoffs.
Playoff.
By the way, just a quick score update on Louisiana and Delaware. Louisiana is about to kick off here. I'm guessing this is the second half kickoff here. And the score is 10-3 Delaware. So,
shout out Joe Flacco.
Shout out Delaware to the alma mater of Delaware legend. All right, let's wrap this up here. Let's get to our George is getting upset pick of the week.
This is not good. Worlds are colliding. George is getting upset.
How did we do last week?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Something's not right here because this says
something's missing.
Hold on. Something's missing. All right. Okay, so last week I had that's probably what it is. Give me a second. I gotta update this. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, so I had Bengals over Ravens. That was not correct. You had Falcons over Bucks, which was correct. I am that now. One. Yeah, right. You didn't have to sweat that one out at all.
No.
I'm 6-9 for the season. You are 7-8. So I will let you go first here.
There's a couple of like games that I think are like kind of upset. I mean, you can go Patriots over Ravens. Yeah.
You
I
could
am
technically
going to go
Go ahead.
Bengals. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to,
Okay,
play by the spirit of the spirit of the law here instead of the letter of the law.
Yeah, I got the letter of the law.
I will take. I want to pick against the team that I picked this week. I'm going to take the Cardinals at home against the Falcons.
Okay, Cardinals over Falcons. And just to let the boys and girls know at home, you have not picked the Cardinals yet. This is the first time picking the Cardinals. You have picked against the Falcons. Nope, first time picking against the Falcons also, for what that's worth. What am I going to do here? I didn't really take. I mean,
You took the Jags. I mean, there's
yeah, that was where. So there's two paths. I could either do Jags over Broncos or I could do Chargers over Cowboys.
Right.
Because technically,
I thought
that would be an upset.
I thought about doing that too. So,
all right, I'm gonna do Jags over Broncos. Just
Donnie will appreciate that as we
Donnie will definitely appreciate it. This is the first time I have picked the Jaguars. Nope, this is the second time I have picked the Jaguars as an upset. I did it 2 weeks ago against the Colts. That was the game that Danny Dimes got hurt in, I believe. And I got that one right.
That's right.
And then I have not picked against the Broncos yet. So this will be the first time picking against the Broncos. All right, let's move on to our Jerry. It's a lock.
Jerry, it's a lock. Kramer, you've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now.
I got mine last week because I had
Texans
over Cardinals.
You had Texans over Cardinals. I had where is it? I had 49ers over Titans. So we are both 13-2 on our locks this year. Pretty impressive. If I do say so myself.
Pretty good. Not too bad.
If it's okay with you, I'm going to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because looking back, the last week where one of us wasn't right, it was you, which was 2 weeks ago, when you had Rams over Panthers, and the Panthers somehow beat the Rams, but can't beat the Saints. But for some reason, whatever.
They're an
enigma. What a dumb team. So let's see. I did 49ers over Titans, so I'm not going to pick against. Well, actually, Chiefs over Titans is not a lock by any means this week. Let's see. I'm gonna go Lions over Steelers.
Okay.
I feel like the Lions are in desperation mode. They got to win. Steelers don't have to win. I mean, because they do play the Ravens one more time.
Also at home. That's a plus.
Right. This is the 1, 2. I have picked the Lions 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth time I've picked the Lions for my lock. I am 2-1 so far. Picking the Lions.
The easy pick here is to just take the Texans over the Raiders. But
yeah, I won't take that would be the easy one.
I won't take the Texans back-to-back weeks. I'll take the 49ers over the Colts.
Okay. So I picked the 49ers last week. You pick them this week. That's fair. That's fair. Old man Phillip Rivers.
So also, Last week I took the Falcons to upset the Bucks, and I took the Cardinals as my loser in my lock. This week, my upset is Cardinals over Falcons.
There you go.
Huh? Little connection there.
There you go. That's why you tune in, folks, to hear these to hear all these little nuggets. You have not picked the 49ers before as a lock. This is your first time picking the 49ers. You have picked the Rams 1, 2, 3 times, and you are 2-1. Your only loss was that Panthers game that we just talked about a minute ago.
Of course.
All right. I think, let me make sure I've touched on everything. Here we did that. Oh, last week we went head to head 6 games. You won 4. You were 4-2. This week we're going head to head 3 times. There are only 3 games.
Oh.
So, yeah. Well, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Yep.
That's the least. That's tied for the least amount of head to heads for us this season. Just 3.
Well, we're either going to do great together or we're going to be terrible together.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the last time, so in week 12, we had 3 head-to-heads, and in that week, I was 4-10. You were 5-9.
Okay. All right, so we know how this is going to go.
We know how this is going to go. Fade them boys. All right, so just to kind of recap here for next week, Brandon will be with his family. I will be here. We're going to do a special. We'll do a watch along of the episode, The Strike of Seinfeld, which is season 9. I think it's episode 10. I'll make sure to tweet that out whenever I finalize that. I'm going to be watching it on Netflix, so if you have Netflix or if you have the Seinfeld discs, however you want to watch along with me. So we'll do that. If you have any grievances, we will air those. Excuse me. And then we will do I will give both of our picks, Brandon and mine, for week 17. Couple of big games. Week 17 coming up. Obviously, we've got the triple header on Christmas Day, which has lost a lot of luster, especially with the Mahomes injury. That Christmas night game, Broncos at Chiefs, is
that'll be a snoozer.
It's rough. Yeah, that's rough. Now there are 2 pretty decent Saturday games that week: Texans, Chargers, Ravens, Packers. So that's not too bad. But all right, but until then, hope everybody has a good week. We're getting again. Send us your grievances. It is Festivus next week, so we'll be airing those grievances. But until then, happy football, everybody.
Happy football.